Hello everybody, namaskaram to all the beautiful people out there. Hope you guys are doing amazingly well. Welcome back to another lesson of English with Ashish. And guys, today we are going to master an amazing modal auxiliary verb would. We are going to learn all the usages of this modal auxiliary verb would. This is going to be an amazing lesson. Make sure you watch it till the end. If you haven't joined our Facebook group, make sure you do that. The link is in the description. If you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, do that right now. Alright, without wasting any time, let's get into it. Usage number one, guys. We use would to talk about past habits, to talk about actions that would be repeated in the past, that somebody would repeat in the past, right? Look at these examples. My sister would cry before going to school. My sister would cry before going to school. So when she was in school, she would cry every single time she would go to school. So she would repeat this action in the past. She would cry before going to school. All right, next example. When I was living in Mumbai, I would go to Juhu beach every evening. I would do this and eat bhel puri. I would do this as well. Eat bhel puri on the top of a rock. In the past, when I was living in Mumbai, I'm not living in Mumbai anymore, right? In the past, when I was living in Mumbai, I would do this. I would repeat this action. I would go to Juhu beach every evening and sit on the top of a rock and eat bhel puri. This is what I used to do. This is what I would do, right? Let me share one interesting story with you. My childhood, my school story. So I had this crazy classmate by the name Anish, right? He would come late to the class. He would not take the permission of the teacher. He would just enter the class. He would sit at the back, right? He would not sit with anybody. He would sit alone. He would not talk to anybody. He would not answer the teacher. He would just do stupid things, right? He would eat alone. He would not talk to anybody. He would just talk to himself. And for a lot of things that he would do, he would get punished as well, right? And everybody would just laugh at this guy. And I used to feel for this guy as well. So I'm using would to talk about all the things, all the actions that were repeated in the past, right? And that's a true story, by the way. All right. So we use would to talk about things that somebody repeated in the past, that somebody used to do. All right. Now, as I just said, used to do. So you can use used to as well in place of would to talk about repeated actions in the past, to talk about actions that somebody used to repeat, somebody had habits with. All right, look at these examples, guys. My sister used to cry before going to school. My sister would cry before going to school. One and the same thing. When I was living in Mumbai, I used to go to Juhu beach every evening and eat bhel puri on the top of a rock. Would go to, used to go to, one and the same thing. That's usage number one, to talk about past habits. Usage number two, would is used as the past form of will in indirect speech. When you have will in the direct speech, which is a way to narrate what somebody said, right? Using the exact words of the speaker. I've made lessons about direct and indirect speech. You can check those lessons out. The link is in the description as well. All right. So when will is there in the direct speech and you change the direct speech to indirect speech, you change will to would. Look at the examples. Direct speech. He said, you will be my best friend. You will be my best friends. These are the words coming from this guy, he. All right, direct speech. In the indirect speech, we change the tense, right, to make the statement relevant, right? He said that I would be his best friends. He said that he's talking about me. So you is changed into I will be, would be his best friends. So will is changed into would in the indirect speech. Next example. I said to my friends, I will throw a party soon. This is what I said to my friends in direct speech. I told my friends that I will throw, would throw. I told my friends that I would throw a party soon. Will throw, would throw a party soon. So that is the second way to use would. Third way to use would, guys, to make polite offers and invitations. When you want to make polite offers and invitations, when you want to invite somebody politely, you can use would. All right. Look at the examples. Would you like to be a part of a startup? Would you like to be a part of a startup? You are making an offer, a very polite offer. Would you like to join us tonight for the party? Would you like to join us tonight for the party? That is an invitation or an offer, whatever the way you want to take it, right? Would you like to join us tonight for the party? That's a very polite, very formal invitation. Would you like me to book a cab for you? Would you like me to book a cab for you? Would you want me to do that? That's a very polite offer, right? So to make polite offers and invitations, we use would. All right. Usage number 4, polite request. Okay. Would you please shift a bit? Would you please shift a bit? That's a very polite request. Would you drop my son to his school? Would you please drop my son to his school? Would you lend me your phone for a minute, please? Would you lend me your phone for a minute, please? So I'm making a polite request, guys, and using please makes the request even more polite. All right. So this is one way to make request using would, but that is not it. There is another way, a very interesting way to request somebody, and it's very, very common in spoken English, guys. Using the structure would you mind followed by J. All right. Would you mind sharing the pizza with me? Would you mind sharing the pizza with me? After the word mind, we use a gerund. All right. Would you mind sharing a pizza with me? All right. Would you mind taking a photo of my kids? Would you mind taking a photo of my kids? Would you please take a photo of my kids? One and the same thing. Would you mind carrying my bags for a moment? Would you mind carrying my bags for a moment? Would you please do it? That's a very formal request, guys, and it's very, very common in spoken English. All right. So that's usage number 4, guys. Usage number 5, to ask questions politely. All right. Look at the examples. Would you like some cheese in your pasta? Would you like some cheese in your pasta? That's a question. That's a very polite question. All right. Would you like to try the cake I just have baked? Would you like to try the cake I just have baked? That's a very polite question. I'm asking a question very politely using the word would. Would you know the name of your math teacher? Would you know the name of your math teacher? That's a very polite question. Now, the same questions can be asked in a different way, but not remotely polite. All right. Let me show you some examples. Do you want some cheese in your pasta? Do you want to try the cake I just have baked? Do you know the name of your math teacher? These sentences give the same meaning. These are also questions, but these questions are not remotely polite. Would makes them very, very polite. All right. So that is usage number 5. Usage number 6, to make wishes and desires. All right. Look at the examples. She'd like you to sing for her. She'd is a contraction of she would. She would in contraction becomes she'd. I would, I'd, he would, he'd. Right. She would like you to sing for her. She'd like you to sing for her. We'd like to do something for the poor. We would like to do something for the poor. That's a wish. That's a desire we have, right? My mother would like to see my kids before she dies. This is a desire. This is a wish she has. She wants to see my kids before she dies. So all these sentences are expressing wishes and desires, right? Now, guys, the contracted form can be confusing sometimes, right? Now, guys, in the first and the second examples, should and would are the contracted forms of she would and we would. Sometimes you may get confused when you come across words as should, would, I'd, you'd, the contracted forms, because these pronouns will look and be pronounced the same way when they're used with had in the contracted form. Look at the examples. I'd do it for you. I would do it for you. He'd go there. He would go there, right? I'd done it for you. Now, guys, this is not I would. This is I had. He'd gone there. This is also he had, not he would. Now, how do you know? If these pronouns are used with had in the contracted form, they'll be followed by a past participles like done, gone. But when would is used in the contracted forms, it is followed by a bare infinitive first form of a verb, do, right? This is the difference that you have to understand, all right? Next usage, to show certainty and possibility. Now, guys, will is used to talk about what people are willing to do in the present or in the future. To talk about the willingness of people in the present or in the future, we use will. And would, the past form of will, is used to talk about what people were willing to do in the past, what they were willing to do in the past, or the possibilities in the past. All right, look at these examples. We will die for you. We are willing to die for you in the present or in the future. We'll die for you, all right? The students will do whatever you say. They are willing to do whatever you say. So to talk about what people are willing to do right now or in the future, we are using will. Now, when we want to talk about what people were willing to do in the past, we use would. They would die for me if they had to. They were willing to die for me if they had to. If the situation was such, they were willing to die for me. All right. The students would do whatever I said. The students were willing to do whatever I said. All right. So that's how we use would to talk about what people were willing to do in the past. All right. Next usage, to give opinions. To give opinions, right? When you want to give opinions, you can use would. Do you want to? Should you? That's a different question. You can use would. All right. Examples. Going there without knowing them would not be the right thing to do. Going there without knowing those people would not be the right thing to do. That's my opinion. I'm giving my opinion, right? Proposing her on her birthday would be the best. Proposing her on her birthday would be the best, right? I am giving my opinion, right? So you can use would to give opinions as well. Usage number 9, to talk about unreal and hypothetical situations, right? Basically conditional sentences. What are conditional sentences? You can watch my videos. I've made videos, different videos on conditional sentences. The links are in the description, all right? Okay, so we use would in the type 2 conditional sentences to talk about imaginary situations that are not real, right? Look at the examples. If I were your father, which I'm not, if I were your father, I'm using the subjunctive mood were, right? To make it clear that this is not real, all right? If I were your father, I would take away all the fancy gadgets from you. I would do this if I were your father. I'm not your father. I'm not doing that, all right? If I were a bird, can I be a bird? Is it possible? That is absolutely hypothetical, unreal, imaginary. Can't happen, all right? If I were a bird, I would shit on you every day. This is what I would do. I would shit on you every day. Okay. We also use would in the second conditional to give pieces of advices. When you want to give a piece of advice to somebody, you can use would in the second conditional sentence, right? How? Let me show you how. If I were you, I wouldn't waste my talent like that. If I were you, I would not waste my talent like this. All right. That means please do not waste your talent. Utilize it. I'm giving a piece of advice to you, right? We would say yes to his offer if we were you. That means you should say yes to his offer. You should say yes to his offer. We are giving you a piece of advice. We would do this if we were you. That means you should do this, all right? That's a piece of advice for you, okay? There are more examples on my website, post on www.englishwithashish.com. I'll give you the link in the description and in the comment section below as well. So you can go through that post as well. It is very detailed post, guys. All right. Next usage. You can also use would in the type 3 conditional sentences. Again, to talk about hypothetical situations, right? To talk about things that are not real. We would have won the match if they hadn't cheated. If this hadn't happened in the past, this would have happened. All right. Again, we're talking about a condition in the past and its probable result again in the past. If the company had treated me well, I would not have left the job. If the company had treated me well, that didn't happen. All right. And I left the job. Again, I would not have left the job if the company had treated me well. Okay. So guys, these were the usages of would. I hope you liked the lesson. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you guys are feeling more confident about the usages of would. If you guys are, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. If you have any questions, let me know in the comment section below. And I'll see you guys very soon. Till then, keep learning, have fun. I love you all. Bye-bye.